As we dove into the story of Zootopia, the question was, whose perspective do you tell this story from? You have two very strong characters. You have Nick Wilde, and you have very optimistic and driven Judy Hopps. And so for a long time, we were trying to tell the story through Nick's eyes. He's seen how dark the world can be, and he's had to learn how to deal with it through humor.
I know everybody, and I also know that somewhere there's a toy store missing a stuffed animal, so why don't you get back to your box?
At that time, Nick was the main character. He was the protagonist.
And it was a great way to get into the film. Here's a cynical character.
He shows us the city, and when he showed us the city, he was quite sarcastic.
Does that sound about right?
When we were telling the story through Nick's point of view, we had to make it clear that this divide between predator and prey was still a problem. Since the prey animals never quite let go of that fear that they had, they only felt safe if predators wore these things called tame collars. And tame collars was sort of like a dog shock collar.
If the predator would get too emotional, too angry, the tame collar would go off.
And we were playing it for humor in the beginning of the film.
It created sympathy for Nick.
In the earliest versions of Zootopia, it was actually Nick's tame collar that gave him his first inspiration for Wild Times.
We have a scene where Nick has to go to the doctor to get a checkup, and in the process of being examined, he has to take his collar off.
Hello, Mr. Wilde. I'm your vet, Dr. Armadillo. I understand you hurt your neck.
The doctor is not sure how Nick will react to the collar being taken off, and he's worried that Nick will be a savage beast like he thinks predators might be.
We're going to have to go ahead and temporarily remove your collar for the checkup. Have you ever had enough?
Nope, but I got my pants off, and we're all enjoying that.
The doctor has all these precautions.
Here we go.
A cage that's halfway lowering, a long stick that he's taking the collar off with, and the assistant is ready to let down the cage. There's emergency light. It's quite over the top, and of course nothing happens. It's just in the doctor's mind. Those collars, they get them when they're kids, so it's been forever that it's been taken off. So Nick realizes what a great feeling that is to have that collar taken off. And then we go into a dream sequence where Nick and his friends are running through a field and being free and happy and wild animals again. And then Nick gets the idea for this amusement park. As soon as the collar is back on, Nick is back in the doctor's office. And at that point, Nick realizes that if he could find a place where the predators could take the collars off and be themselves and do wild things without being zapped, he would find a big audience for that. And Nick realizes there's some money to be made.
Can you just give me 5 more seconds of this?
If I had $1 every time I heard that.
Yeah, you'd be the richest mammal in Zootopia.
Nick was a con man in that version of the story, and he felt like he had finally found a way for predators in that world to enjoy themselves. And it was kind of like borderline illegal, maybe a little bit. And that would be a secret playground for predators with all sorts of rides and attractions, and it was called Wild Times.
Okay, now this is a fun zone amusement park exclusively for Zootopia's largest untapped market, Preds.
Nick tries to get a loan by going to many banks around the city of Zootopia.
Run by different kinds of animals.
Oh, yes, run all by prey animals.
You know, they say you can't put a price on happiness, and I say you can. Bang, there it is, $19.95 a ticket.
But you can't even appeal to the greed of the bankers because predators are not part of the system. They have no chance.
Will you help me make it happen? Will you help me make it happen? Will you help me make it happen? I get it. No one wants to throw money down a rat hole. By that, I meant no disrespect. They say you can't put a price on happiness. I say hogwash. What? Well, that was an unfortunate. Now, I don't want to beat a dead horse. I'm just going to leave.
Nick realizes there's nothing he can do. He went to all the banks in Zootopia, so he actually knows this guy called Kozlov. And Kozlov, being a predator, has made a business into lending money to other predators, and so he gives Nick the money.
With the financing in place, Nick is finally able to break ground on his theme park.
What Nick did is he bought this huge warehouse down by the docks and kind of blacked out all the windows.
There was a long search for the right style and shape of it. We knew it was going to be in a not-so-good part of town, something where Nick could afford the rent. We experimented with different shapes. In the beginning of the movie, we tried everything. Barn designs, for example, or like a big leaf, or something that looks like a tortoise shell. And then the location changed many times. We had it under a bridge. We were thinking maybe something on the water, like a casino. It was set on a pier for quite a while. And in the end, it actually was next to a factory, but it was linked to a parking lot through a secret passageway. If I was a predator in the world of Zootopia and I wanted to go to Wild Times, there has to be word of mouth because it's a secret place, like a speakeasy. So you find the parking lot. It looks like a regular parking lot on the outside. There is a tiny little building in the center which has a sign that says medical clinic. You go through there, there's a reception, you go into the main examining room, and that's where you meet Nick. He's got an online diploma, so he's got the right to take off your collar. He'll open a little secret passageway that's behind a medical poster, and you can slide down the slide and you end up under the parking lot in this place called Wild Times. Before you enter the big part of Wild Times where all the games are, you have to go to the collar check, and that's where Finnick and Clawhauser are working. Clawhauser used to be actually Nick's buddy, and he was helping him to set this up before he became the policeman that is in the final version. So the little guy, Finnick, is wearing a nurse costume, which looks really cute on him. And he's got this tag reader, and when you read the tag opens up, and then you pay the admission fee, and you're off to go. So the predator that comes into this environment will, first of all, be overwhelmed by all these different things going on around him. If he looks straight ahead, there's going to be a roller coaster, which is a roller coaster. It's so scary that there's animals roaring every time they ride it. You get dipped into water, and there's another loop. And of course, everybody looks wet and crazy when their picture gets taken. Another fun ride for predators is the cheetah run, which goes all around the top of Wild Times. So it's fun in different levels. You can actually hide behind some fake wooden cutout grass, and the grass goes down, and off they go. The thing that all these games have in common is they're very low tech, because Nick had to build them himself. So there's no big motors or anything attached to it. So for example, the Catch Me If You Can game, where the animals are running, has a belt underneath. So the energy you get from these running animals on this one game propels the other game. I was always trying to find something that would be enjoyed especially by predatory animals. So there's a strongman, which is called Bite Me. This one is about biting strength. So it's this little otter holding a burger, and the top and the bottom of the burger are wood, and in the middle there's rubber, and so they bite down, and the little hat of the guy goes up. One of the setups that I thought was really funny was the scratch and sniff. We have these different big and small poles animals can scratch on. It actually made it in the movie in the naturalist sequence where you see the bears scratching on a palm tree. That palm tree was part of the scratch and sniff. We also have the nocturnal maze, which is a maze in the dark. Then there's the ball of yarn pit, which obviously is for cats that like to play with yarn. We've got the jump and stick game, which is basically you go onto a platform and there's a trampoline, and you jump onto the trampoline, and then you jump off the trampoline and you get stuck to this Velcro wall that is rotating. Another game we designed was laser tag. It works like this. There's animals with little laser guns, but because it's all self-made, it's actually a little hairdryer with a laser attached to it on the top, and they point. It's just like, you know, cats like to run after little dots. So one cat is moving it around and the other cat is trying to catch the little laser dot. There's a Howl Along for the wolves. It's basically a little karaoke setup where there's a cardboard moon being lifted up, and then on the little TVs at the bottom, you see woo, 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 and the wolves are singing and howling along to that song. Then there's a little dancing game called So You Think You Can Prance, which of course you don't dance, but you prance, and there's steps on the screen that tell you where to go. There's a simple little game that's called Go Fish, where, you know, it's the buckets and you try to catch the fish coming out. Oh yeah, one of my favorite games is the Upstream. That's for bears. And again, it works without electricity. So you have a little booth and there's a log, and the bear is running on the log, and behind him the log turns a little shovel in the front that throws plastic salmon at him. So the game is to run on the log, catch the salmon, as many as you can, and not fall into the water. There's also snacks and merchandising you can buy in Wild Times. There's a clock you can buy. Everything is designed a little bit with straw roofs or with fake plants, so it looks like nature, basically, because you're supposed to be wild and free in it. And last but not least, there's the Tundra Express, which is at the opposite side of the roller coaster, and that is basically a gondola ride, but it's a flying fox, which is quite appropriate.
Created by the filmmakers to be the realization of Nick Wilde's boldest ambitions, the final version of Zootopia no longer had a place for Wild Times.
If you make a movie like Zootopia, until you get there, you make about 10 other movies. The whole concept of Wild Times was based around the fact that the animals can take off their tame collars. And tame collars just don't fit into the story anymore. Being able to talk about it makes me really excited that people are finally seeing all the thought that goes into it and get to experience Wild Times.
I loved Wild Times so much. That's one of the things I really regret that we lost. But somewhere, we got to find a way to bring that back. I don't know how we're going to do it, but you'll see. Somewhere it'll reappear.
Bum, 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 bum. It's deleted characters, my friend.
Yes,
that's
I
right.
love characters.
We love characters. Sometimes we love them so much we hold on to them for a long time, then we throw them out.
Good one.
And these guys, they didn't make the cut. They didn't make the cut, but don't worry, they're fine. They're just wandering about Zootopia somewhere.
There you went, you little Dickens! Oh.
First ones are the Gerbil Jerks. These were two antagonists who did not like Nick Wilde very much. Nick would walk around town, and these two Gerbil Jerks in their little sporty red car would run over Nick's tail and make him shock himself. And they loved that. They lived for that. And so it was his jerks. They were his nemesis, nemesis. Honey, who is a honey badger. She was a doomsday prepper.
She was a friend of Nick's.
She was a friend of Nick's, and but she was very, very paranoid about sheep taking over the world. She even had an anti-sheep bunker filled with anti-sheep weapons like huge clippers. And so we tossed that whole part out.
Where'd the heck she go?
However, she did stay in the movie, right? In a way?
Well, in another kind of form. The character became Dr. Madge, Honey Badger. She was the one trying to find an answer to the savage animals.
Yeah.
We cannot keep it a secret. We need to come forward.
Not so much a doomsday prepper anymore. You know, she was trying to do some good.
Yeah. The old goat.
The old goat. She had different jobs and she made different appearances. At one point, it was just a screaming old goat.
Yeah. Sometimes she would faint.
She would faint. She was a fainting old goat, but then she came back as a fellow meter maid.
Hey there, rookie. Keep it up, but in 50 years, you'll be promoted to this job.
Mayor Swinton.
Swinton was our villain in the earlier version of the story, and we did that because pigs are very intelligent animals, and we thought that'd be very interesting to make an intelligent pig the villain in the movie.
Both smart and tasty.
Yes.
Still a pig.
The Razorbacks.
The Razorbacks were a cool elite police force that the police brought in when things got really hairy with predators. Hairy, see what I did?
Sniffers.
But they're tough guys. They had special weapons. They had tough haircuts.
And they could kind of sniff out, you know, predators. And,
They're really tough
pretty
dudes.
Cool.
Don't mess with them.
Wooly.
There was a sheep in the movie called Wooly who was doing all sorts of nefarious stuff. And if you've seen the final film, you know that sheep continue to do nefarious stuff in Zootopia. But this time he was hiding his identity with a corset. And he would tie himself up and he would make himself very skinny and wrap himself in an overcoat and put on a wolf disguise. So he was a sheep.
Sheep in wolf's clothing.
See what we did?
We took the old cliche and so clever.
Yes, very funny, very funny.
Rich and I and our team, we're great fans of classic Disney animal movies. We thought, wouldn't it be great to do a film like that with all this new technology that we have to tell stories?
ZPD's first rabbit officer, Judy Hopps.
You ready to make the world a better place?
90% of mammals out there are prey animals and only 10% are predators. What if these animals evolved so that they were just like us and had a city? And they say that it's a utopia, but did they really put all this fear that they have of each other behind them? Just like us, is everyone just a little bit wary of differences in different groups?
One of the goals for the animals in the film was to look as if you could reach out on the screen and touch them. Really capturing the reality of the way fur works with light was something that we worked a lot on. It was a big research project for us.
they created this new grooming system or program for our characters, where the fur on a fox looks just like the fur on a real fox in nature.
We spent about 8 months developing a new shader that actually describes fur in a really, truly realistic way. And we did do a lot of research. We went to the Natural History Museum so that we could actually look at fur up close with a microscope and look at the structure of each individual animal, because they are very different.
The challenge that we first ran up against is we just can't keep up with the animation. Even just, the posing of a character within the existing fur pipeline was just too prohibitive. So we had to really come up with a way to say, okay, how can we make this faster?
The fur affects the silhouette, it affects the expression. We were talking to Joe and his team and being like, we have to be able to see this while we're animating. It was really essential for us to have the genius that these guys contain to be able to help us visualize that so that we could get those performances to be able to come to the screen.
There were efficiency things that were built into that new shader that allow us to actually have animals with really dense fur. Even our tiniest mouse has about 400,000 hairs on its head, and Hops and Nick both have over 2 million hairs on their head. And that they're wearing clothes, so just that much hair in their head is quite an achievement, I think, for us.
One of the things that's changed in a huge way for Disney in the last 2 or 3 years is the Hyperion rendering system. And this is huge for us. It made making films at Disney so much easier, because one of the problems before Hyperion was that you had no idea what the lighting in your scene was going to look like. Now with Hyperion, very early on, almost as soon as we have the layout of the scene with the camera set up, we can get an idea of what that scene is going to look like and do intensely complex calculations and intensely complex environments that look photoreal.
Our barriers to our work a lot of times are just speed in the technology. These guys have just made our job so much easier in that we are only limited by our creativity. We're not limited by the tools that we use.
We are in a really big hurry.
I am on
It?
break.
So we use a broad collection of software tools in the making of the environments for Zootopia. One of the software systems we use is Bonsai, which is a procedural tree generation system. We also have the XGen system. In this case, we're using it to populate these bonsai elements in our world. So it's very important for us to add a subtle level of movement in the small twigs, branches, and leaves of all our trees.
Yeah, they are not only moving, they're also deforming or bending. Really looks like there's an actual wind motion going through the vegetation.
This particular collaboration has been a really rewarding and engaging opportunity for us to really take a problem that can't be solved by technology and a problem that can't be solved directly by animation, and really to work together to come to a much better resolution that really shows. These characters feel like you're real. You just watching the movie just makes you really want to just run around Zootopia and just play in this environment. It's such an engaging place.
I think in a nutshell, if I had to say that, what is the dynamic there? The dynamic's probably cooperation between technology and artists, and kind of coming together and putting our heads together on where we want to go and how we're going to do it.
The goal of Zootopia was really that we didn't want these animals to just be humans in animal suits. There was a group of people that went to Kenya. Here you had predator and prey, like a lion and a zebra, coming up to this watering hole and drinking peaceably. And so that kind of became the center of Zootopia. The whole city is built around a watering hole. Even though there are different groups here, there can be unity and peace amongst them.
Animated films are full of specialties that most viewers can't see, and one of the most important is character animation, in which the animator essentially gets to act, creating the performance that brings her character to life. On Walt Disney Animation Studios' Zootopia, the main character of Judy Hopps was overseen by animation supervisor Kira Letamaki. Kira came to Variety to reveal just how much of her is in that plucky bunny.
I love Judy because she's just this this fearless optimist. She's a dreamer. You know, she's a bunny from the burrows. Her family, they're carrot farmers. And then she has this dream of being a police officer, and no bunny has really done that before. And I related to her in such a deep way because as a little girl, I always wanted to work for Disney, and yet I came from a family of scientists.
Let's talk about some of the different considerations that there are in sort of creating a performance for a character like this. Obviously, maybe the biggest is that she is a rabbit, not a human being.
Whenever rabbits are on high alert, their best asset is really their hearing. They have these great big ears. So you'll see their ear start to turn and go towards that sound that they hear first. Also, when they're stressed, you'll see that their nose starts to twitch faster. She'll also go down into what we call binkies. And this is this kind of strange behavior that rabbits do where they will get down on all fours and they'll run around and then they'll jump in the air suddenly. And there's a couple of times where Judy is very startled in the film, and we thought that was a very appropriate moment to have those animal behaviors kind of come through, even though she is this evolved animal.
What are you working with when you're doing character animation?
I like to think of animators as we're really just actors, either with a pencil or a mouse. And most of us either film each other or we film ourselves acting out our scenes. We rely heavily on the voice actor, and the voices are recorded ahead of time. And in this case, it was Jennifer Goodwin. And Jennifer brought so much to the role because prior to her casting, Judy was actually more of a cynical character. And as soon as Jennifer came on and she brought such a sweet optimism to her voice, Judy and the story kind of veered in this other direction.
I'm not sure if you remember me, Officer Hops. ZPD?
Is there a moment in the movie that's similar where it's like we can really see your personality come through in Judy's performance?
Yes, people joked throughout the making of the film that Judy became more and more like me in a way because while she is a glass half full kind of bunny, I am a glass half full kind of girl. But I was very fortunate to animate the scene under the bridge where she's apologizing to Nick. And it was one of those moments where it was like, I know what this has to be. I looked at what Jennifer did, but then I also filmed reference myself and drew on some personal experiences. So that scene for me is very personal, and I feel like most of the time when animators animate scenes, you can see them in their work. And so when I watch the film, it's like a scrapbook. Every person who has animated a scene, I see them. And that's what makes it, I think, so relatable. And so the scene for Judy under the bridge, I feel like it's me, you know. If I were going to apologize to somebody, that's what it would look like.
Do not stop this car!
Welcome to the Eastwood scoring stage here at Warner Brothers Studios, where we are recording the film score for Zootopia.
Zootopia, it's a city that was made by animals for animals. And so as we developed this idea, we came to him and said that we want to have a really world music vibe.
It's like a real city, and then underneath that, we have sort of a very hip vibe happening as well. And it's great, so being able to mix all of those things together really does help make it feel like you're in a modern city, except with animals. Basically, the idea for this film was to bring a bunch of weird sounds together. John kind of challenged me to go out and find exotic things. So I called Bernie Dressel, my drummer, and said, what do you got that will give us something different, but you can still play like a drum kit? So this is what he brought in.
You gotta see this.
You'll see his kick drum is made of an old wash tub. And then same with this tom. We have a wash tub over here. Back there, we got an old oil drum.
Oh, that's cool.
If we do something like this, we can immediately be drums, and in the meantime,
what I love about the guys I work with, it's a really collaborative environment, and I love talking to them about what they have and what we can do. We're here on the scoring stage in Burbank at the Warner Brothers Studios, and I'm here with...
Hi, Byron Howard. And Rich Moore, and you're the real Michael Giacchino? Really? The one and only?
Working with musicians. They're really like actors in a way because you're giving them lines to interpret, and that's what's really wonderful.
Michael wrote a specific bass line that goes,
We have the greatest rhythm section of all time. Who anchors the rhythm section? That's the bass player.
Well, what I play is 2, 3, 4.
Of course, one of the most important areas of the film sonically is percussion. I mean, look around. We have all of these choices of what we can do. We have djembes and congas and bongos and all of these drums, and we also have very strange sounds as well.
That's creepy.
The film is very emotional in addition to being very funny, so I wanted something to underline that emotion. The main theme is built around the idea of these instruments doing these repetitive sort of it's just meant to be very simple, meditative feel.
You gave her a clown vest and a 3-wheeled joke-mobile in 2 days to solve a case you guys haven't cracked in 2 weeks? If you'll excuse us, we have a very big lead to follow and a case to crack. Officer Hops?
It's one of the most amazing things for us as filmmakers to come in and to see you play, and it's magnificent.
The piccolo 175, can we have the flute too, but an octave lower? Can you read off that guy?
That's it! That's what I've been missing! Oh, keys! Keys, all right, come on! Oh, thank you! I love you, bye!
You catch any of that, Bond?
Not one bit.
Oh, Michael, that is so beautiful.
I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end, and then I'll start again.
We'll grab one more like that so we have those two.
A lot of hiking.
That's a
You got the console
there.
mean, yeah, scared too. Really, it's a proud scared combo. I mean, Zootopia, it's so far away and it's such a big city.
Guys, I've been working for this my whole life. Guys, I've been working for this my whole life. Guys, I've been working for this my whole life.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Awesome.
Nice.
Really nice.
Super rabbity.
All right, that one's
Super
wrapped.
rabbity.
So
Wrap
rabbity.
that one. So as always, Jared Bush is going to be.
You're ready to feel it.
Oh, should we start at 16?
I think that might be
That might be more helpful.
Yeah, how about yeah, we start at 16.
Perfect.
Here we go.
Sir, you said there are 14 missing mammal cases?
So?
Well, you probably forgot, but I was top of my class at the academy. Sir, you said there are 14 missing mammal cases?
So?
Well, you probably forgot, but I was top of my class at the academy. Sir, you said there are 14 missing mammal cases.
So?
You probably forgot, but I was top of my class at the academy.
Nice.
Ooh,
Sweet.
really nice.
You did it.
Boom!
This is
Oh, and there's no
Kevin
lead-in for
James.
this.
I'll be the clock.
Yeah, Jared will be a clock.
I'll just go
in
like
scene.
this, and you'll know it's new.
Click, and then that'll
So
be
this
the
would be
music.
after writing 200 tickets before noon.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
you've decided you're going to show your boss, you know, you're not going to do 100 parking tickets. You're going to do 200 to show him how indispensable Judy Hopps is for the Z.
Indispensable's a
Yeah,
good
a little
word.
bit of gusto, right?
So speaking of
Little
gusto,
rabbit
how
gusto.
big do you want this boom?
Gotta go big.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah, go big.
might as well go boom.
Yeah.
Go big with this boom.
Yeah, go
Nice.
boom or
Boom
go
with
home.
this big.
nice.
Yeah.
Go boom or
Right.
go home.
Yeah.
All right, here it comes.
Boom! 200 tickets before noon. Boom! 200 tickets before noon. Boom. That was really small. Boom! 200 tickets before noon.
Awesome.
That was
Yep.
nice.
Nicely
Nice
done.
and done.
Nicely
right.
On
boomed.
that one.
Well done.
And you, little guy, you want to be an elephant when you grow up, you be an elephant. Because this is Zootopia. Anyone can be anything.
Let me set it up. Okay, so come here, come close. Yes. So we're gonna set this up. So this is where Mrs. Otterton arrives. Mrs. Otterton, lovely Mrs. Otterton, played by Octavia Spencer, and so she arrives, and this is where you actually just had this huge. You had this huge afternoon, right? Okay.
Yeah, you chase that weasel through Mousetown, and this is right. You're feeling really good because you got this bad guy, and you're expecting to go talk to your boss, and for him to say, "Great job, and you've proven yourself. Now go be a cop." But instead, he's mad at you because you've kind of destroyed most of Mousetown during the process.
So he's smacking you down.
Real good, Jennifer.
You're
Real good.
Real good.
Why would you do that?
Real good. Yep.
So in the middle of
ninja
this, you're trying to
antics.
convince him to give you a shot at being a cop, and he's saying, "No, you're still a meter maid," and he over and over tells you no, 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 and you tell him why you want to be a real cop here.
Because you hit the what? The grass ceiling. Right?
That's
I
good.
just-
That joke's been around for a long time.
That's
I know.
good.
That's a 3-year-old joke.
Yes, the 3-year-old's been around for a long time.
That's the first time
I
I've
still
heard
love
it.
But now it's on tape. See?
Yeah.
There you go.
Not now!
Sir, I don't want to be a meter maid. I want to be a real cop. Sir, I don't want to be a meter maid. I want to be a real cop. Sir, I don't want to be a meter maid. I want to be a real cop.
Yeah,
Nice.
this is the
Convinced.
last one. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe you
know
want to
what?
be a real cop.
I believe it.
Done.
Jennifer, you're a real cop.
Yes!
You are a real
did the job.
cop.
That's all I needed.
No meter
Very
maid
good.
for you.
I make $200 a day, fluff, 365 days a year since I was 12.
Actually, it's your word against yours. And if you want this pen, you're going to help me find this poor missing otter, or the only place you'll be selling popsicles is the prison cafeteria. It's called a hustle, sweetheart.
She hustled you. She hustled you good. You're a cop now, Nick. You're gonna need one of these. Have fun working with the fuzz.
Start talking.
I don't know where he is. I only saw where he went.
Great, let's go.
It's not exactly a place for a cute little bunny.
Don't call me cute. Get in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty good scene.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. Joblo remains an independent company, and we appreciate all of your support.